friends. Welcome to Sunday Connections. Welcome, Susan Lynn, Psychic Medium, is in the house.
Good to be with you. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I was just sharing with Susan that I've just got a report, an update on my sister, and I just want to take a moment and say thank you from the bottom of my heart to all of this community, readers, subscribers, chatters. You guys have been nothing short of phenomenal, and my heart is so full. My sister's heart is full with the love and the healing energy sent, and the prayers. It's been felt. I don't want to cry. So thank you very much for all of your support. She has had her surgery. She is in recovery, and my niece just texted and said that they've got her up and walking around, which is fantastic. So here she is on the healing journey. So
good. So good news.
Yes, absolutely. So Susan Lynn, Psychic Medium. I checked before we came live. You were here at Dozen Cats just 10 months ago.
Holy
when
moly.
I was an itty bitty channel of I don't know how many. And you were so kind and so supportive. I was literally off the ground like 2 feet because you said yes. And I watched the video and thought, girl, you need to calm down. I was crazy.
I did not think so.
So I'm glad you came back.
Girl, if you don't think I'm crazy, then I don't know what your standard is.
Well, the funny thing about that video, you do a lot of videos, so I don't expect it to stand out in your mind, but I had specifically asked for you to come and talk about the damn thing exercise that you did a video on. And
I couldn't even tell you about it. I couldn't even tell you.
Right. And you said to me, well, that's great. I don't remember. So maybe someone else can know. So the damn thing exercise, for those of you that don't know, is absolutely fabulous. It helped me so much. And the people that come to Dozen Cats know that I quote it often. I'm often still talking about it. And today, friends, look at how prepared I am, because I actually have the link to the damn thing.
Aww.
So I will pop it into the chat, as well as Susan Lynn's channel name. Not that anybody doesn't know who you are, but on the off chance that you don't, please do consider showing her some love. Subscribe. She's fabulous.
Thank you.
And there you have it. So the damn thing exercise, by the way, if you're going through stuff, if you have anxiety, if you are, looking for like direction in your life journey, your healing journey, maybe you want to move or something like that, that exercise really helps to sort of break down what it is that's stopping you, and sort of helps you to gain a different perspective. And I love that. So all of that being said, here we go. Hi to everyone in the chat. Lisa Foster's in the house. Teresa's here. Carol Lamb is here. Paisley. Ron Unconditional Love. And Jan's Free. Lisa Rhodes. Jamie Johnson. Good to have you. G. Covington. Lise Niedermeyer is here. Ellen R. is in the house. My husband, of course, is in the chat. He's babysitting Rosie. Hi, Rosie.
Your new baby puppy.
The baby puppy that's like a little firecracker. Bims is here. Eliza's here. MK Karen, how are you doing, my love? I hope you're feeling better.
I hope you're feeling better, Karen.
Terry at Holding Your Space is here. We've got to get Terry onto the channel. We communicated the other day. She's fabulous. Vivian is in the house. Jan's Free is here. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I'm so happy. Miriam, my friend, how are you doing? Anna Banana is in the house.
Oh, nice.
Spirits Beyond the Stars, Teacher Barbara, Kristen Louise. It's so nice to see everybody. Thank you for being here. Happy Sunday to you, my friends. So here we are.
Oh,
February.
Good to see you guys. Hey, Ron and
awesome.
Cardamom C and everybody that she said hi to. I say hi to you. I see you. Hello. Really good to see you tonight. I hope you guys are all doing well.
Right. Look at Susan Lynn and I matching outfits without coordinating that. Isn't it awesome? We did that the last time. I
We
don't
did that the last time. That's that telepathy thing. I'm telling
that's
you.
it. So the whole month of February here at Dozen Cats has been dedicated to what I called matters of the heart. So it's we covered lots of topics and have different guests and different styles of readings, all to sort of lead us to the month's topic of how do we achieve our overall happiness. And one of the reasons why I wanted Susan Lynn to come tonight is because unlike other mediums on YouTube, I find that she covers all platforms in a way that makes it understandable and relatable. And when I say that, no shade to the other psychic mediums. What I mean is you cover many, many facets on your channel, right? You don't just do political stuff. You talk about how to connect with your guides, how to work through, healing things. And you do it in a way you have humor involved, and you do it in a way that's like, sensible and sort of like no muss and no fuss. And I really appreciate that. So we are here tonight to talk about how do we navigate that spiritual journey. So if you've just joined the spiritual community and you're trying to find some answers, some clarity, what do you do? How do you navigate that path?
All right. I knew you were going to make me bring my A game. I knew it.
Of course.
I should have known it since the first time you had me on. You roasted me over my own video, which I didn't remember. I channel those things, right? I mean, I channel them, and then I'm so busy, like it's just like on a conveyor belt and it's gone. But since you brought that up at that time, I went back and watched that video, and I was like, this is good advice. So I thank you for that. Okay, so how do you do it? And this advice is for anybody. I don't care if you're just starting your spiritual journey or if this is your 5th decade of your spiritual journey. It doesn't matter, because I find that it kind of comes and goes. It ebbs and flows, right? Sometimes family needs us or work needs us, and spirituality goes out the window, and then it comes back, and then it goes down. So wherever you are on that journey, the very first thing, and I'm channeling this right now, you guys. When you guys ask me a question, basically my guides answer it. The thing the guides want to talk about is something that I hate doing, and they finally got me to do it. It took a long time. It took probably I'm embarrassed to admit this, but it honestly took me about 3 years to do this. And this is after I actually had so many other people doing it, and they came back to me and said, Susan, this really works. And I was like, man, I should try that.
Yeah, it does work. It works really, really well.
You got to write it down. You got to write it down. If you don't write down what is happening to you, if you don't write it down, it didn't happen. It's like when you go to Vegas, it didn't happen. Okay. But it really did. But anyway, you've got to write it down. And this is why. So your guides are going to start communicating or ramp up the communicating, whatever it is for you. You might start seeing repeating numbers. You might see an animal act odd, like come to your window and be like looking at you and like, what is that about? Right. That's odd. You may have an odd thought that's out of the blue. You may have songs.
Really? All my thoughts are odd, but okay.
Well, odder than the odd one. You may have songs that like I get this all the time, right? I get songs in my head. Those lyrics is a message for you.
Right.
Now, if you write this stuff down, what happens is if you don't write it down, your brain is like, God, that was weird. Random, awkward, right. Throws it out. And then it doesn't, you can write it on napkins. You can, but no, Paisley, I'm going to be honest with you. The guides get pretty persnickety about that. They would rather you put it in your phone than write it on a random piece of paper. They want it in one place.
Right.
Because random pieces of paper. Now, your guides will keep track of that piece of paper. I have a piece of paper I'm looking at right now that has moved 3 houses with me. I don't even know how it keeps floating to the top of stuff. So if it's important, your guides will help you keep track of it. But really, for the purpose of this, if you really want to kind of focus on your spiritual path and you really want guidance, this is the thing to do. So you write down the date, and then you write down whatever thing happened. If you don't have time to write anything else, that's fine. If you want to write volumes, that's fine. If you want to write, I was thinking about this and then this happened, that's fine. Now, what happens is, say a month later, you get your journal out and you go back and you look through it, and it all weaves together to tell a story, or to tell, or to give you guidance. And it's actually so incredibly accurate that it's kind of scary. But if you didn't write it down, that would be like a dot here, a dot here, a dot here that never got connected. Okay. And the other thing I want to tell you guys, or they want to tell you, pay attention to how you talk. If you're telling your friend, I just know that he's going to get the job, and they say, well, how do you know? And you go, I don't know. I just know. You know what I mean? Like, that's embedded in our society, that it's okay to say that, but that's psychic.
Yeah.
That is you're claircognizance. You know, like our parents would say, a little birdie told me. Well, what bird? I don't know. That's a saying we say. Stop asking questions. Go sit down. Right.
Right.
So, but it's, you know, there are these ways of just making excuses for us really being psychic. So when you have that random thought and you hear yourself saying, I just know, you're going to go write that down.
Yeah.
In your phone, on your computer, on your tablet. If you have to write it on a random piece of paper, that's fine, but you need to transfer it or stick it in the journal.
The phone is a great idea, by the way. Sorry to interrupt you, but
we always have it with us, right?
Yeah. I do that a lot.
Don't do this.
Like a little voice recording kind of thing, just as a reminder. And just as an FYI to that point, a lot of artists, like musical artists, claim that they'll be like just out and about, and all of a sudden this idea will come to them for what they call a hook in a song or a verse, and they'll record it into their phone so that they don't forget it, right?
That's right. The only problem is, if you're like me, like now, I've got some things that I emailed myself, some things that are in the notes on my phone, some things that are voice recorded on my phone. I mean, if you're like me, I'm not organized. I mean, I'm a broken Virgo. I don't know what happened. I didn't get it. I didn't get the thing.
You didn't get the rest of the Virgo.
Somebody said squirrel or cheeseburger or like, you know, something. And I was like, yeah. And that stuff just went on by the conveyor belt. I didn't pick it up. So now don't be like me. Try to centralize it as much as possible. And then if you have it on your notes on your phone, I don't think, to my knowledge, notes on your phone don't get backed up to the cloud unless you specifically choose it. And even then it depends on the operating system. Yeah. So then you want to grab those and email them or do something else with them. Because the whole point is to have this in some kind of contained thing so that you can see it from start to finish.
Right. Whoop. This is Quincy, everybody. He wants to say hi.
Oh, good luck with that puppy.
I know Quincy is not a fan of Rosie yet. So because I'm back here, he's like, hey, this is a safe space. Kristen Louise says, I have ADHD, and so I'm a hopeless cause. You're not a hopeless cause, first and foremost. Second of all, you know, you can always, as Susan was saying, record it in the phone where you just give yourself a clue or a hint, right? You have to train yourself to be organized. I am like stupid organized when it comes to scheduling and all that stuff, as Susan Lynn knows, because I only sent her this in like December, the invite for this. Like, I'm crazy like that about my schedule, but you know, I'm not so organized when it comes to like, you know, where all the stuff in my kitchen goes. Everybody has their strengths and their weaknesses. And this is one of those things where if you make this like work, it's not really going to appeal to most people. So try to find a system that you can incorporate and implement into your daily routine that is not too taxing for yourself and allows you to sort of, you know, find the joy in it, if that makes sense. Kristen says she actually writes things on herself.
We used to do that back in the day. Remember before cell phones? Let me write your phone number right here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's true. You would be with a group of people. right? And you'd say, "What's your phone number?" And then you're like, get a pen, and everybody would be writing it on their hand.
Yeah, on their
How
hand.
funny is
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
That's funny.
So let's say that doesn't work. Let's say that this journal thing, I told you it took me years. Let's
Yeah,
say that doesn't work. Then what I would say for you to do is just acknowledge.
yeah,
Just simply acknowledge. So instead of letting your brain go weird, random, go, no, 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 that has meaning. Thank you for that message. I hear you. I'm grateful for the guidance, and then let it go. But at least your brain is now going, oh, Susan wants to keep track of that.
yeah.
That's important to Susan.
I love that. I just want to acknowledge Sue Toffee. I did see your question, and we will ask Susan Lynn closer to sort of like the end of this. We definitely will see if we can get anything for you. Okay. Rhonda says, write everything in my phone and in composition tablets. That's interesting. And Jamie Johnson said that they actually wrote a song based on some of the things that they were writing on napkins, which
Nice.
brings me to sort of tie in what Susan Lynn was saying, and what I was trying to say, but because Susan Lynn is here, I'm all like blah, 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 can't think straight. You could literally like make a poem or like a little story, like some use the message in a way to sort of help you remember the message, right? If that makes sense.
That makes sense. That's a brilliant idea. I love the way that that's really smart. I love that.
Every once in a while. No.
No, all the time, all the time.
So something that I hear people saying all the time in the spiritual community is, my guide so and so, my guide Bob and my guide, Sally told me this, which then makes the other 75% of us go, well, how do I meet my guides? How do I know who they are? Like, how do you know their names? Where'd they come from? Can you sort of like talk us off the ledge of that whole phenomenon that we are supposed to know who they are and that they all come with
Oh,
nameplates? Because
yeah, I can talk you off the ledge, but it's a little bit confusing, but I'm gonna do my best. So here's the thing. First of all, they don't even use names because they communicate telepathy and they don't care. Now, humans, we need names. It helps us to have a name that makes sense for us. Now, the way I see it, I am not the oracle. Who knows? Maybe I got this all wrong. The way it works for me is we have whatever God consciousness is for you, whatever that is for you. Under that is your higher self. So your higher self is a part of your soul that stays up there for all of the incarnations. It's like your soul's boss. Okay. Under that is your spirit guides. Your spirit guides incarnated with you. I believe that at some point they were human. They walked the earth with you. That's how they can help you. They know what it's like to be a human. They know what your soul is like, even if it was hundreds of years ago. They know what you're like. So, your spirit guides, now, where I think it gets a little bit confusing is that, in my estimation, understanding of it, your spirit guides have one job and one job only. And they never divert from that job. That job is to help you on your soul's path. Now, if your soul's path is to become an airline pilot, then they're going to make sure that you become an airline pilot. If your soul's path is to become more compassionate and loving, then that's what they're going to do. It doesn't have, your soul's path doesn't have to be like, some big deal. It can be a very human thing.
right.
Now, you can ask for helper guides. That's who I work with more often than not, are helper guides or even helper angels. These guides and angels are unemployed. They want to help you. It is their soul path to help you. So even if you call them to find a parking space, or if you call them to help you with a health problem, or you call them to help you remodel your house or your relationship with your kid or your spouse, they don't care. They're happy to help. They want to help. Now, when you're dealing with energies and you're talking about maybe talking to your spirit guides. Again, your spirit guides are up there. You can talk to them all day. Unless you're talking about your soul path, they don't care. Your helper guides, in my opinion, are really close to our energy. Like to me, and if you do Reiki or something, you would understand like the energy feels just like right here. It feels very close to me.
Right.
I think they're on my vibrational level more, whereas my spirit guides are up here, right? So when I do all those political videos, I'm talking to my helper guides. I'm not talking to my spirit guides.
Right.
So your spirit guides will guide you on the down low. They really want to guide you without you knowing you're being guided. So if you've got a 3-year-old and you need to put them in the car seat, you don't want to tell them you're going to get in the car, you're going to get in the car seat, because then they're going to throw a fit or they're going to run around the car. So you want to carry them, distracting them, and put them in the car seat and
Right.
lock them before they even know what's happening. That's what your spirit guides do for you. So does that make sense?
It makes absolute sense. And I so appreciate you. I did this show with Allie from Heart and Soul Connected a while ago. We should probably do another one about being someone new to the community at the time that I joined. I found that there were a lot of like words and phrases that the spiritual community as a whole was using. And I don't know that everybody knows the meaning, but you hear them all the time. And let's break it down and let's make it easy for people to understand. And so I so appreciate you doing that. Joan says, I always call them to find a parking space and it always works. I call them to find my phone all the time and it always works. I love that.
I love that. I always forget about the parking space thing. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. Steve says, I text myself these sessions time-stamped with when I get read. When every different reader says the same thing, I start to pay attention and try to tie it all together as I replay what I'm told. That's an awesome idea, Steve, by the way. I love that you do that.
I do too.
As a reader, that's an amazing contribution from you to say that you're listening to all that's being told to you, right? Because sitting on this side, I mean, I'm a chatter first and foremost. Everyone knows that. I wear that like a badge of honor. There's no place like the chat. But as a reader, you can go from this room to another room and see the same question being asked. So I love that you're asking the question and then taking all the information in, because that's really how you find the answers, as Susan was just explaining, right? When those messages come and it's the same message over and over and over again, it's for you. And they're trying to be like, hello, wake up. We're trying to say something, right? Kay says, this is what the Gentle Away book talks about, requesting the most benevolent outcome you can use for parking spaces, etc. I love that.
Yeah.
So, all right. We have discussed how we sort of get to know our guides. We've discussed how we can sort of, the difference between the helper guides and the soul path guides or angels, and how we can sort of interact with them. I would love it if we could just spend a moment and sort of talk about this, because as a person who is sort of developing their spirituality, shall I call it, for lack of a better way to put it, I oftentimes questioned myself, am I doing it right? There is no wrong way to do it, is there really?
The only wrong way to do it is to not set your intention and not set your intention to be working with the light.
Right.
After you do that, I mean, we're all going to get different things in different ways.
I love that. See, this is so helpful to so many people. At least I hope that it is. So what can we do to sort of keep that connection sort of moving forward, or at least keep it sort of on a forward sort of momentum, right? Because I hear a lot of people saying things like, and I've said it too, just this past week with everything that went on with my sister, I didn't come on and do my daily reads, and I have a tendency, as the people know, that whatever's going on with me will come out in the cards, and it's not supposed to be about me. It's supposed to be about everybody else. And I knew, or at least I felt like I wasn't going to be able to sort of remove myself from that, if that makes sense. So we say oftentimes that things are going on, and my spiritual connection seems a little bit off, or maybe it's like full moon energy and I feel a little bit wonky right now. How do you, or how do we all sort of continue that sort of connection to keep moving in the right direction, or increasing it, I guess is the best way I want to put it?
So a couple of things. First of all, the things they already mentioned as far as acknowledging the guidance. The more you acknowledge the guidance, the more guidance you get.
That's awesome.
And then if you ask for guidance, the more guidance you get. So, employ some of these unemployed helper guides and angels and start doing things like, should I wear this shirt? Yes or no? Should I turn right and take this route? Yes or no? Is that car in front of me going to turn right? I think that car in front of me is going to turn right. And they do. So you want that validation, okay?
Right.
That's really the secret sauce is validation. Without the validation, we think we're crazy because we're in magic land, right?
Right.
So do things to get the validation. Would really kind of boost and help you. And then secondly, you really want to try to push your ego. Okay, here's what they want to say. You want to push your consciousness to the side. Now,
Yes.
how do you do that? People say this stuff, right? All the time. I'm a vessel. I just push my consciousness to the side. Well, what in the, what does that look like? How does a person do that? Well, let me tell you, we're going to do it right now. We're going to do a little exercise. So you guys in chat, you can do it in the chat, or you can do it in your head. What I want you to do is name 5 colors right now: pink, yellow, blue, orange, green. Name 5 male names. Name 5 vegetables. Name 5 countries. Now, I went really fast because I don't want you to think. What we're doing is we're pushing our thinking brain to the side, and we're exercising our subconscious. Then it goes from there, and you say, now what I would tell you to do is, now, what color is your spirit guide wearing? Ask yourself, like Kelly, what color is your spirit guide wearing?
Green.
Thank you. What kind of hair does your spirit guide have? Long, short, none?
Oh, long.
Long. How is your spirit guide, tall or short?
Tall.
Male or female?
Female.
What color overall do you associate with that spirit guide?
Green.
Have you incarnated with that spirit guide before?
I don't think so.
And is this spirit guide your main spirit guide or a visiting spirit guide?
No, I think main.
Main. Did this spirit guide visit you when you were in your crib?
Not sure, but I hope so.
But you got to answer me. You got to say yes or no.
Okay, I'm going to go with yes.
Okay, there you go. Did you ever see your spirit guide when you were a child as like an invisible friend?
Yes.
Okay. So now, if you didn't know any of that about your spirit guide, you basically just described your spirit guide by making yourself answer the question before you think about it. If you'll do this task, you can really start to trust your subconscious and realize that your subconscious really has a voice and really wants to come out and play with you.
Do you see why she's so fabulous, friends? Seriously, that was amazing. What a great exercise. Honestly,
that's the guide.
Everybody, I love that. Well, to your credit for being the vessel, I can't invite the guides as a guest, so I mean, it would be entertaining, but No, that was fabulous. That's a great way to put it. And, to break it down so that people can understand. One of the things that I love about this community is that there's so many different ways to sort of get to the same spot or the same place, right? To achieve the same goal. One of the things that I have trouble navigating especially in the beginning, as a new person arriving at the spiritual doorstep, shall we call it, is, we would use that same vocabulary over and over again, and it made for difficulty understanding and wrapping my head around it. And I don't know about you all, but if you go and Google some of this, spiritual vocabulary that you hear often, you get 9,000 different answers, and it makes it very difficult to be able to sort of pinpoint what it is. And so I really, really appreciate that exercise. That's going to be helpful to a lot of people. Laura Fahe, hopefully I pronounced your last name correctly, says, I love Susan Lynn, psychic medium. I've been watching her ever since Linda G introduced, almost like 2 years. I just love her.
Laura.
Kay says, I had a reading with Melissa Free Range Psychic who told me about my guides. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. Rose Blue says, I don't know about my guides. Maybe my ADD gets in the way. So speaking about the ADD, because Kristen mentioned that earlier, Susan Lynn's little exercise that she just did there can really help you sort of pinpoint to the point of ADD isn't a factor in this. It's whatever comes to your mind first. Right?
It's making you say something.
Yes.
And then realizing that when you say something, it means something. A common thing that psychics, that all of us, and I say too, I'm just making this up, right? I'm just making this up. But I'm telling you guys, one of the best ways that I teach people, the breakthroughs that people have, is by telling people, imagine. Yeah. Use your imagination. That is the language of spirit, not your brain. If you try to think, you're going to be wrong. You're going to be wrong. So when I tell people, imagine, let's do another exercise.
Okay.
You mind?
No, go. I mean, the floor is yours.
Let me tell you, they didn't want me. I didn't want to be a teacher. I fought it for many years, but I swear to God,
you're so good at it.
Here's the thing. We're gonna read my dad. Some of you may have, I don't think so, but we're gonna read my dad. Okay. Here's how I would tell you to do it. So here's an option for you if you want to use this. Imagine that you're in a big bubble. Okay? This is your bubble. Whoever you are, Kay, Kelly, Terry, Laura, Rhonda, it's your bubble. This bubble can be clear or opaque, doesn't matter. It's as big as a good sized room. It's got, some nice comfortable chairs in it. And here's the thing about your bubble. It's sacred. The only things that can be in your bubble are you and the light and something you invite in. So be careful what you invite in. Don't be messing with no Ouija board. Yeah, anyway, that's why you set the intention. Yes. So we accidentally invite things in and that becomes a problem. However, I am in Kelly's bubble. Kelly's in my bubble because we're having a conversation. And also because we're in a psychic energy. Now, if you guys want to invite me in your bubble, I'll show up in your bubble. Okay? Now, what I'm going to have you guys do is, if you just calm down, relax, this is not anything to be upset about or stressed about. It's just chill. We're just chilling out. I'm going to invite my dad in the bubble. So my dad walks into the bubble and he stands next to me. Now, without thinking about it, I want you to tell me, what would you imagine, and put it in the chat. What would you imagine my dad to look like? Would you imagine that he's tall? Would you imagine that he's short? Would you imagine that he's big guy, thin guy? Would you imagine that he's wearing any particular kind of clothes? What do you see? What do you know? What do you feel? Go, girl, go.
Immediately, John Schneider is who I thought of when you invited your dad in. Blonde hair, blue eyes, handsome man, sort of like a scruffy beard, but wow. not bad, but like just sort of like day old kind of thing. Medium build, stocky. He's wearing like some kind of like I don't know how to explain it, but like a rugby top. Like when I say that, like it's like a sort of like a sweatshirt, but a sweater. There's like a big stripe.
Yeah.
I don't know why I see green and yellow. Like yellow top, green stripe. It's the most random thing. He's wearing like khaki sort of trousers, and he's like really happy.
Yes. So you just described my brother, who's also in spirit. Good job. But not my dad. But that's okay. That's what happens when you connect with somebody. Whoever shows up is who you're connecting with. And you guys, a lot of you guys are really on it. Tall, yes. He's happy. Glasses, salt, pepper, hair, smiling. Yes. Tall, lanky, smoker. Yes. 5'10" with a dad body.
Yeah, I love it.
That is awesome. Everybody is seeing kind of glasses. Yep. And here's another one. Tall, blonde hair. A man in his boxer shorts. Paisley. Yeah. Okay. Dad, cut it out. Okay. Yeah. Now my dad is a jokester, so he very well could have done that. To be completely honest with you. Now, look what Anna Banana said. Red, fiery personality, 5'10", blue collar worker, piddled around the house, reddish brown hair. Yes. Pipe for hypnicity. You know what? He did smoke a pipe rarely, like super rarely, but he did. Right. So you guys just saw my dad. Now, if you feel into his personality more, okay? You feel into his personality more. What do you feel like he did for a living? Now, my dad had a couple of different kind of remade himself a few times, but what do you feel like station wagon newspapers? That's really good. You guys are good. Newspaper books. Terry, that's very good. Good job. Puts hand on back of chair. You're sitting in my orange bowl. I'm sitting in an orange bowl. Cool, Lise. Yeah, that's right, Lise. You guys are good. You guys are nailing it. Okay. Let's see.
I love that, Pierre. I'll start that.
Why do people not get the aha moments, learning energy montage? Okay. Yep. Like a sweet. The boxer shorts was my dad. Nancy's dad showed up. That happens, you guys.
Yep. Yeah.
It happens, right?
Yeah. Hypnicity said delivery driver. And I sort of feel like some kind of like, was he ever a driver at some point? Some kind of like truck driver, a courier person?
He presents as that. He listen. So when people are in spirit, your reading is only as good as they are communicating.
Right.
My dad was kind of a wacky communicator. Now, one of the jobs he did at the end of his life was, towards the end of his working life, is he did flea market sales. So he had all his wares in the truck. Depending on what he was driving. And then he opened it up. So sales, Terry, you're right. Yeah. Delivery driver, that makes sense. Laura said sales. All that makes sense. Yeah. Now, he had other lives when he was younger that he did other things. So you guys just used your clairs, your psychic clairs.
Right.
I would go back and ask you, Laura, hypnicity, even you, Kelly, everybody, how did you get the information? Did you see it? Did you know it? Did you feel it?
Know it.
You knew it. That's claircognizance. If you guys saw it, it's clairvoyance. If you felt it, then it's clairsentience. Pay attention, you guys. You guys just figured out what clair is your primary clair.
Do you know what I feel like? I know this is very random, but I literally feel like I'm a sardine can right now. And Susan Lynn is the little clip, that you put on the side of the can, and you're like peeling it back to open it up. And it's like, I'm inside going, hello, let you. I love this. This is so awesome. We're all a bunch of sardines waiting to pop out of the can.
Now, if you guys get out of that can and start swimming off, I'm going to freak out.
I love that.
Yeah. So pay attention to how you got that information. A picture of station wagon with one headlight working. Thought came to me, Paisley. Yes, perfect. Combination of color coding and knowing. Color coding, that's quite interesting. Laura saw it. Terry said he shared it, showed it to me, and felt his personality. Wonderful. Heard a little visual. Hearing is the best. Okay, so Lisa's the hearing. Fantastic. All right. Yes. Yeah. Ivana's like, I already know all this.
Yeah. Ivana's just lurking because she knows all this already. I love it. So that is so helpful. I mean, seriously, what an amazing exercise. Thank you for allowing us to do that
Thanks,
and sort
Dad.
of experiencing that. And thank you to Dad for allowing us to use him as a sort of test subject, because it really is that simple. And when I say it's that simple, anything that we don't know about, anything that seems a little like, off, no different than reading the tarot cards. Where's the manual? Where's the instruction book? It doesn't, I mean, sure, you can get a book with it, but it doesn't tell you how to read it. It tells you what the cards mean. But when you put three cards together, it changes its meaning, and it changes the meanings constantly with every reading that you do based on the questions that you ask. So at some point, you have to trust yourself, which Susan Lynn mentioned earlier. This is about a trusting relationship between you and yourself and your sort of higher self, and that you're not going to be like, oh, well, you got 4 things out of 12, right. This is about, wow, how can I condition that? How can I work on that? How can I massage that muscle, right? How can I maintain and keep going? Well, we know how to do that, right? We know that we do things like listening to the messages, writing them down, as Susan Lynn said. We know that, if we eat well and we get a good night's sleep and we look after ourselves, right? We trust in ourselves, always come from a place of love and compassion and a place of gratitude. You keep your chakras aligned. All of those great things will help us to maintain like a good, sunny sort of disposition and position in life, which then allows us to be able to experience these wonderful things. And if nothing else, I sort of feel like everybody is going to be doing that little exercise when this is done over the next coming days, and they're all going to report to you on your Wacky Wednesday show, which, by the way, is absolutely fabulous. What an amazing program that is. I love it. So I have a question.
Let me address Paisley really quickly. Paisley says, so this is only because you called him into your bubble. Well, I find that this is a quick way. So you can use the bubble yourself, just create your own bubble and then see if you can bring in your spirit guide, or see if you can bring in crossed over pets to your bubble.
Yeah.
So, it's just a sacred space, basically, is what we did. And so what I would also say now is let's disconnect. So now you guys all have your bubbles up, and my dad is hanging out in there, and I've left, and he's probably hanging out like shooting the breeze with you, because that's the kind of guy I was. And so what you want to do is say, hey, Susan's dad, thanks for coming. Appreciated it. You got to go. So you need to clear your space when you're done.
Yeah.
And then you need to cut the cords, cut the connections, cut your connection to me. I'm cutting my connection to you. You're back to your bubble and its sacredness. That is spiritual hygiene.
Yes.
That is no different than brushing your teeth in the morning and night, or washing your face, or whatever it is that you do. Because if you don't have those set, and I know ADD is hard. I don't like routines. Again, not a Virgo. I don't know what happened. But you really have to have these routines. They really help you, especially when you're doing this kind of work. You don't want to walk around. If you had a reading with somebody, or even a conversation with somebody, and you're still thinking about them hours later, you're still connected to their energy.
Right.
And that's draining your energy.
Oh,
so 100%. If that happens, you want to go, oh, snap, I'm still connected. Let me disconnect from them. I don't need to be thinking about them. I need to be thinking about myself or my family.
Wise words. So before we end tonight, we're going to do just sort of like a little collective thing. But first, Susan, I would so appreciate if there's any way that we might be able to assist Sue Toffee.
Sure, we can.
Sue says she is devastated by the missing her cat, Lily Sunshine, which is just such a beautiful name, has been missing for 6 weeks. She has come here, and we have pulled some cards, and we sort of feel with the different people that I've been with while we've read this, is that like an elderly person might have her, but doesn't realize that what she's like, the elderly person doesn't think that they've done anything wrong. We feel that Lily's okay and that she's going to come back eventually, but wondering if you could pick anything up, because it's been 6 weeks, which is, that's awful. And of course, everyone in the chat, collectively use your intuition and your power to see if you might be able to help Sue out with any hits that you might get.
I agree with you. I feel like Lily is in someone's home and being well cared for.
Yes.
But not able to go outside. Like, I'm going to keep you safe. I'm going to keep you inside so that you don't wander off, because this person really has taken a shine to Lily.
Yeah. I feel like, I think that I said this before, that I felt like the I'm getting chills again, that the person that has her is not trying to do anything like untoward, literally found like a lost cat and thought like, come in, I'm gonna protect you. And we almost sort of picked up that person needs the cat more than Sue does, which is very difficult to understand at this moment. Oh, Terry says she sees a yellow house or room.
And well fed. I see well fed. I don't know if Lily was like, how cats can be long and lanky or kind of short and compact. I don't know why I'm seeing short and compact and kind of, just a little bit chunky. Carol Lamb says she gets her wish, she's within a half a mile.
Yeah.
I agree with that as well.
Yeah, Lisa. Well, I think that we got that she wasn't too far away, and we kept getting like communication, like you really need to sort of, spread the word, lots of flyers, as some people were saying here, and social media and stuff like that.
I don't know that she would respond. I think a woman has her, and I don't think this woman would respond to a poster on a.
No, I didn't feel that either, but I felt like others around her might.
Well, they might.
You know what I mean?
But
I don't know.
This woman is secretive. She wants to keep her. I mean, but I don't think Lily. I mean, Lily was like, "This is all fun now, but now I'm ready to go home." You know what I mean? I think at first Lily was like, "Well, this is fun," but now she's like, "Well, I really want to go home now." So I feel like Lily is a very resourceful cat, and I think that she will eventually kind of find her way back. At which point she's going to blame you for the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because that's just,
It's interesting that you mentioned that. And I just want to say for whatever it's worth too, when I was a young kid, we moved, and our cat, went outside and went back to the old place. And for a year and a half, we couldn't find her. And then all of a sudden one day I was riding my bike. I was out playing with friends in my old neighborhood, and there she was. And I took her home, and my mom was like, oh my God. And it was like a whole thing. And the cat ended up running away and going back to the other community. So I guess she liked them better. It was just one of those things. It was very freaky.
Yeah. But one thing we can do is we can, that for the most benevolent outcome is what you're talking about. Actually, Kelly, you tried to move the cat back to your house, and the cat was like, no, I'm going to stay in this neighborhood. So,
knock on doors are what people are saying. Knock on doors, go door to door. We wish you the best of luck, Sue, obviously. I say that I think this is a great idea, if you can.
Mailbox flyers are a good idea too.
Yeah.
If people because I think this is an older person.
Yeah.
Okay. She is short and compact. Okay. All right. She's fine, but she does miss you. I don't want to make you feel sad, but she, she's like, what's going on here? So, I think you're going to get her back. I really do.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't think it's going to be soon, but I think it will be, I think it's not going to be like, months away, but I don't think it's going to be like, this weekend kind of thing. And I think that was consistent with what we got before. I don't really feel any different. But we send you our love and hope that you know. Yeah. I almost feel like if she connects to her helpful guides to help, have those guides help her locate or help her, be able to distribute the flyers and get the word out, that you never know, right?
Yeah. What I might do based on what Kelly just said, the guides are saying you could ask, you can't demand anything, but you can always ask your guides to work with this woman's guides.
There you go.
Because I feel like this woman has adult kids that visit her. And I think the adult kids could see the flyers and be like, Mom, that's somebody's cat you're keeping, and then they would grab the cat and take the cat back.
Yeah, so someone's going to do the responsible
thing. Kind of how I can see that maybe you can come to a resolution. Ask your guides, most benevolent outcome, to work with her guides. I'm getting chills with that. So I think that might work.
We'll see.
No.
I love it.
No, I don't mean she'll blame you. I mean, you know how animals get themselves in trouble and then they complain to us about it? Like, I didn't do that. You did it. What are you complaining to me about? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, that's just their way. That's their love. That's their love language. Cats.
Yeah. Terry, I totally got that too. Terry says maybe a bit of dementia. And I sort of felt like this person that's taken Lily Sunshine in is elderly and really needs the companionship of the cat almost more so than Sue does, which I understand is very difficult to wrap your head around, right? Because it's your animal and you love it. But I almost feel like this person feels like they need the cat more than you do. Yeah. Butterflies Are Free says, will I be able to drive on the interstate or busy traffic without getting dizzy anytime soon? Butterflies are free. I want to say to you, first and foremost, I don't know what your dizziness is caused from, but I would encourage you to obviously be seen by a doctor if you haven't already, to make sure that you're okay to drive. Driving and getting dizzy is very difficult. If your dizziness is caused by any kind of like stress or anxiety, I can relate to that. Sometimes it feels like the world is moving in either slow motion or super fast motion. And it is very overwhelming when you're behind the wheel, and it is unsafe to drive like that. And when I was first diagnosed, I had a deal with my husband. I worked like 30 minutes car ride away. And sometimes it would take me 3 hours to get home because I would literally have to stop and sit in a parking lot, side of the road, whatever it was, until I sort of felt like I was okay to drive again. The amount of stress that I put my mind and my body through by doing that, thinking I was doing the right thing, and I was really actually hurting myself. So I say that, you know yourself, when you're okay. Don't push yourself, don't force yourself. If it's just perhaps maybe it's a thing about the highway and there's just too much going on, find an alternate route that is not so busy, right? Like a 2-lane sort of road, or, take the scenic trip. If it takes you 20 minutes longer, who cares? Because if you feel less stressed, then the drive is going to be more enjoyable, right? That would be the best thing that I would say, but specifically, make sure that you're doing this under the advice of a doctor, because you don't want to put yourself in danger or anyone else, of course.
Anna Banana has a great comment, and I agree with everything Kelly said. Butterflies are free.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, see, in Vertigo, people are mentioning. So just make sure that you're doing something in the vestibular system called persistent postural perceptive dizziness. My goodness. My goodness.
Here's the question, Kelly.
Yes.
Go ask your guides, everybody. Ask your guides. Can this be repaired? Can this be remedied?
Yes, it can. 100%.
Can it be remedied without a doctor? Yes or no?
No.
Okay. It does her doctor that she's seeing right now have the wherewithal to help her?
Yes.
Is it a medicine that can help her? Or a procedure? Or
I think it's more what word? I need a word. Help me out, friends. I need a word. I feel like it's more of a like it's a combination. It's like a cocktail, if that makes sense. It's like a medication and a like a therapeutic procedure. That's it's almost like if you have a panic attack and you sort of have like that checklist, like your emergency pack that you carry with yourself to help yourself if you go into a panic attack and you're out. It's kind of like that kind of an idea, I feel. Does that make sense? Oh, look at what she said there. Whoop, back up. New neuro in March, so I can hold on. Okay.
I feel like, and somebody mentioned, I think it was Cindy P. Meniere's disease. So you've tried the Epley maneuver exercise and they haven't helped yet. I feel like it's going to be, I agree with what Kelly said. So did you see the way I asked the questions and Kelly just answered the first thing that came to her mind? So get yourself a piece of paper, ask yourself the question and write it down. Don't think about it. But also I'm kind of loving this thing. If you guys watch Cash Peters.
Yes.
He does the thing.
Yeah.
With the muscle testing. Yeah. I've kind of gotten addicted to this. This is better than a pendulum. A pendulum is it can be influenced by trickster energies. Okay. So then you can also just use this. Show me no. Okay. Show me yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Show me no. Show me yes. Okay. So anyway, I feel like butterflies are free. I feel like there's some sort of a laser that breaks up these little stone things that's in your inner ear. Number one, number two, then I see that you do the Epley maneuver, and then I see it's also connected to your eyes. There's a connection of your vision with the inner ear with your vision. Don't underestimate the vision. And then what happened, this is what's really tricky, I find, about figuring this stuff out. So we now know two things, and I think, Kelly, you alluded to this, but there's three things. There's anxiety. So you already got the anxiety built up because of the physical things that caused you to not feel comfortable. Yeah. So we try to fix the anxiety, and then it doesn't fix the problem. We try to fix the inner ear thing, and then that didn't fix the problem. People often stop when they're on the way to fixing a problem because they don't realize there's multiple issues.
It's all connected.
It's all connected. So you need to work on the one thing, and then the second thing, and then the third thing. Yeah. I feel like you get nauseous. Do you get nauseous? Do you get like seasick, like motion sickness? But I think that this can get better, if not completely better. And maybe even by August, which I think sounds like a freaking miracle to you, which is fine. But Hypnicity said this is where they found her aneurysm because of migraines and dizziness. It's been since August of 2021. 3 times ice, 3 times checked.
She's saying yes to motion sickness. My jaw is hurting me right here. Right here. I have an enlarged sinus line, if you will. So on this side, it looks like a pencil. If you look at the line, this side looks like a magic marker. So this side, like if I get sinus issues, my whole face will ache. I don't know if you've had dental stuff done or not, but there could be. So like, I think this is all connected, like the ear, the eye, the sinus, the like the jaw. There's something, your teeth, there's something in there that's causing all of this.
That's related to the inner ear. That's related to the inner ear. I wonder if you have like, if you grind your teeth.
Yeah.
Or if you clench your jaw. And then the eye thing is not about your eyesight. It's about tracking. It's about your eye tracking. And it's not a function of an optometrist. It's really more of a function of a neurologist. In
Yes.
that video that I did where I talked about the new health things in 2023, that's one of the things they talked about with Parkinson's. They're going to, and I'm not saying you have Parkinson's, I'm saying they're using your eyes now to discover neurological things.
Yes.
So that's kind of what it is. And I would just take some deep breaths and calm down. And I'm not saying you're upset. I'm just saying about this whole issue.
Yeah.
Like, just try to figure it out, because that's the other problem. When we use our brain, we're researching, because I'm a researcher. Like, you tell me something, I'm like, I'm going to be up all night researching it.
Yeah. Well, you start to live in the outcome, or making an outcome, and then you're so focused on what you want to happen, or what you think is going to happen, that you forget to sort of pay attention to the things that are actually currently happening, which could help you to get to the problem. So she says, I've had several MRIs and CTs and other scans. Yes, checking with the new neuro who looks like a younger concerned person. Yeah.
I like this younger person, this younger doctor. I like this. Yeah. I'm sorry it's taken so long. I've had situations where it's taken me years to figure stuff out. It's frustrating. I know it is frustrating. Especially when your life has been impacted in the way that yours has, which is very, a big part of your life has been impacted.
Absolutely. We wish you the very best. Butterflies are free. And please, let us know how you make out in March with your new neuro doctor, because I think that's going to open up lots of different avenues for you. I just want to pop Susan Lynn's link in the chat one more time. And also, not that anybody doesn't know who Susan Lynn is, but if for whatever reason you do not, that is her link to her wonderful channel.
Thank you.
This is a link to her exercise, The Damn Thing, which will help you to sort of understand that there's lots of different things on Susan Lynn's channel. I was asking her backstage about classes that she has upcoming. Your website is Susan Lynn Psychic Medium.
SusanLynnMedium.com.
Medium.com. Okay.
And I do have a lot. I've got 3 classes I just announced to my class that just ended today. So I have a kind of an advanced psychic class that's coming up. I have a practice, which is a lot of fun, where people can just show up and I run a practice. Like, we go to Zoom, I put you in a room, you practice, you come out. That's going to be coming up. And I have a mediumship class coming up.
Excellent. So you can find all that.
I have my Patreon membership group, which is
okay. And so you can find all that information out on, obviously on the channel, I'm sure under your videos, and of course on the website. So do go show Susan some love. She's fantastic.
Thank you.
I just want to say thank you so much. This has been really informative, and I hope that you guys found it helpful. When I came to this community and I started to really understand that I had the power to control the outcome of my life, the trajectory of my life, and I started to really put that process into motion, my whole life changed for the better. I actually have cause to celebrate now. I have reasons to wake up with a smile on my face. I have been diagnosed with anxiety panic disorder for almost 11 years now. And I can honestly say to you that this is the first time that I feel like I have something to celebrate in this last year. And it is all because of this community. So hang in there, stick together. We're stronger together. Keep doing what you do. And with that being said, do you have any words of wisdom sort of like for the collective as we leave this month of February? I'm going to pull a card, or you can pull a card if you want to do that, whatever you feel comfortable with. What a great way to end the month of February and the matters of the heart sort of theme that we've had running all month. with a way to connect you to your spiritual guides and, maintain and grow that connection. That's just beautiful to me. I thank you so much, Susan Lynn. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks to all of you guys for coming and hanging out with us tonight. I would just say the message for the collective is the same message they always have. Love yourself. Value yourself. Everything happens from here, and it all happens in the now. So when we worry about the past or we worry about the future, doesn't impact, it doesn't help anything. All your power is right here in the now. And they would also say that when you raise your vibration by loving yourself and taking care of yourself, you're going to be able to talk to them a lot better. Their vibration is up here. They have unconditional love for us, unconditional love. So if we're self-critical and, shoulding on ourselves, I should have done this, I should have done that, our vibration is down here. So watch that critical self-talk, love yourself, raise your vibration so that you're better able to get that guidance.
I love it. So I pulled from postcards from Spirit, and this is what it says. It's a bit lengthy, so I'll try to read quickly, but still be able to pronounce the words properly. Dear you, check in occasionally with yourself about your motives behind actions you plan on taking, especially when you have an end game in mind. I just said that, right? I just said about the outcome.
Yeah.
It never ceases to amaze me, really. It doesn't.
I know.
Is the source of your motivation desire or entitlement? Maybe you're drawn to a certain path because you think it will bring you a feeling related to the outcome you seek, like safety or wholeness. Know that you will see a reflection in the outer world of the motive that drives you forward. Do you need a motive? Can you simply be pulled in the direction your soul calls you, towards joy, for example, or discovery, growth, or adventure, participating in something compelling and meaningful without trying to define it? If you can step forwards and surrender to whatever Spirit has in store for you, you will be amazed at how things turn out. Check your motives, then hand them over to Spirit. Everybody here wants the best for you. Life loves you more than you know. I think that's pretty awesome. That's a great card.
Life loves you more than you know.
What a great way to end a segment with saying that life loves you more than you know. Friends, thank you so much.
Better than that.
Susan, you are a true treasure to this community. I thank you kindly for sharing your Sunday with us. Thank you so much. Blessings, everybody. We'll see you soon.
Thanks, everyone. Much love.
Bye, everyone.
Take good care.